Welcome to my circling prayer exercise. I love circling prayers, and I've written a number of these, and I've adapted quite a few of the traditional Celtic CAIMs or circling prayers, which were a mainstay of the spiritual life of Celtic Christians who lived between about the 4th and the 8th or the 9th century. And today's exercise is based on one of these prayers. Even though, as I said, I've adapted it. I love to mess with traditions, and that's exactly what I've done here. Circles were very important to the Celts. In fact, the Celtic cross, like this one that you see here, has a circle around the cross which indicated the wholeness that Christ brought to the cross, and the fact that this wholeness made it impossible for the devil to enter. Monasteries were often built with a circle of crosses surrounding them, declaring that the space within was sacred and dedicated to God. Don't you love that concept? I sometimes think I'd love to go out and put a circle of crosses around our house that indicated the same thing. And sometimes these prayers would be said with the drawing of an imaginary circle, which is, of course, a little more feasible than those crosses around the house. And people imaginary circle around the people or place to be prayed for. And at other times, an actual circle path was created around a room or a building or a community, and the circling prayer recited as people walked around it like a mini pilgrimage. And it's a highly effective form of prayer, and one that I have been using over the last couple of months for my morning time of prayer. And instead of doing a circle of crosses, I've been starting with lighting a circle of lights around me. And you can see some of those behind me here. And that circle does extend all the way around my office here. And it's just a huge comfort to me to light that in the morning and give me a sense of God's embracing presence. And it's very refreshing and very sustaining for me. Now, most of you probably can't light a circle of candles around you. So we're going to do an exercise using a sheet of paper and some colored pens and pencils. And you might like to pause the video at this point in time and go and get yourself a sheet of paper and some colored pens or pencils that you can use for this. So, having got your pen and your pencils and your sheet of paper, on the piece of paper, draw a circle about 3 inches in diameter with one of your colored pens or pencils. And write the words joy, love, and peace inside your circle, and fear, hate, and despair outside. Sit with your eyes closed and take a few deep breaths in and out. Imagine the circle of God's presence surrounding you, embracing you, comforting you. Open your eyes and run your finger around your circle. Not just once, but continually as you recite these words. Circle me, Lord. Keep joy within and fear without. Keep peace within and hate without. Keep love within and despair without. Circle me, Lord. This is a traditional kind of Celtic CAIM where you have something inside the circle that you really want to embrace and something outside the circle that you want to get rid of. So now we're going to expand our circle, not just around us, but we want to expand it until it embraces the whole world. I read a quote recently: God is a circle whose center is everywhere and whose circumference is nowhere. And by that, the person that wrote it, I think, meant that the center of God's presence is within all of us and within every part of God's creation And the circumference is nowhere. In other words, the circumference of God's love and of God's presence embraces absolutely everything in our world and, in fact, the whole cosmos. Isn't that a wonderful thought? So I want you to extend the forefinger of your dominant hand and draw an imaginary circle around where you're sitting. Imagine that circle extending out around you, around the people you live with, around your neighborhood, around your city, around your country, around the whole world. Envision God enfolding all of this in a cloak. Imagine God embracing, supporting, surrounding, and comforting you. Ask God for peace to be able to hear the divine voice. Repeat the words, "Circle me, Lord. Keep joy within and fear without. Keep peace within and hate without. Keep love within and despair without." Now sit quietly and contemplate your circle and the words you've written. While you do so, you might like to pause this video and take some time to decorate the circle with colored pens or pencils. Or if you don't feel artistic enough to do that, you might like to just pick up some things from your desk and put them around your circle. Or if you collect rocks or shells or whatever it is, put those around your circle. Decorate it so that there is a barrier between those things that are inside and those things that are outside. Could even just use paper clips. That's a simple thing to pick up from your desk and use it. Take some time over that. And as you do so, think about what else would you like to see inside the circle of God's love and light, and what would you like to see outside the circle of God's love and light. As I thought about this morning, the words that came to me was light inside and darkness out. Truth inside and falsehood out. Trust inside and doubt without. When you've taken some time and you've gathered some words as well, repeat the prayer above using your own words of what should be inside the circle and what should be outside the circle. So in other words, my prayer this morning would be, circle me, Lord. Keep light within and darkness out. Keep truth within and falsehood out. Keep trust within and doubt without. Circle me, Lord. So, pause again, and you might like to turn off the video and do some more decorating on your circle and the words that you've written. Does anything else come to mind that you would like to add inside and outside the circle? If so, repeat the prayer again for a third time using the prayers or the words that you've just added. And since we don't have any other words, at least I don't have any other words, let me repeat the original prayer. Circle me, Lord. Keep joy within and fear without. Keep peace within and hate without. Keep love within and despair without. Circle me, Lord, with your presence. Today we stand in God's circle of light, breathing in, breathing out. Today we stand in God's circle of light. Light before, light behind, light on left, light on right, light buried deep within. Today we stand in God's circle of light, with friends and family, neighbors and strangers, with all the people of the world. Together we stand in God's everlasting light, encircled, embraced, united into one family from every nation and culture and creed. Let this circle hold us. Let this circle sustain us. Let this circle surround us with the bright and shining presence of the Eternal One who leads us into light. Amen. And as I said, that has become my prayer every morning for the last couple of months. And it really has given me a tremendous sense of the embracing presence of God and of the joy and the wonder of starting each day in God's presence. And I hope that you will take the time to do this exercise and to really enter into what it is that God might want to reveal to you as you do that. Thank you for taking this time to be with me.